This topic because I thought it would be interesting to view the change within the past 3 decades or so. If we take into account the exponential growth of technology, the increased availability of healthcare, and a better understanding of the human population, we can easily infer that the mortality rate will follow a downward trend. As innovation and information increases, the rate of death will most likely do the opposite, which means it will decrease. Once we take a closer look at this data, we'll be able to pick up on trends, pinpoint outliers, predict the rate for following years, and possibly find correlations between data and specific periods of time. So here's a quick overview of our data. We can see that the death rate is decreasing steadily as time goes on. We should also keep in mind that the death rate is per 100,000 people, meaning every 100,000 people that are alive, say in the year 2015, only 733 people will die. This right here is my frequency chart. I decided to split it up into 5 classes, so it left me with a class width of around 53. So all the information is here besides the standard deviation, which will be on the calculations page on the next slide. So I did not have a mode for this data set. That means that there was no recurring death rates and the numbers were different every single year. The median was 869. That's simply just the middle number of the entire data set. So the mean, or the average, or the mu, or the x bar was 853. The variance is just a little over 7,000. If you have a larger variance, that means that the numbers are more spread out. So my data is somewhat. And for the standard deviation, we got 84.72. Standard deviation is just the average difference you can expect to see if you were to fall onto any number. My 99% confidence interval was 39.14. So here were the 3 charts that I was required to do, also including the least squares line on the bar graph to the right. If we take a look at the line graph, we can easily see that there's a steady downward trend. We can do the same for the bar graph as well, but we can see some points of data where they do vary a slight amount, where there's a gap. It may increase and then decrease, but there's a steady downward trend if we take a look at all the data as a whole. So what we have below the line and bar graph is a box and whisker plot. This will show us how the data is distributed and how it's kind of spread out. It also shows the median, and then it breaks it up into 2 pieces of data, and then it finds the median for each of those. So that's what the first and the last, or the beginning and the end of the box is. And then that middle line is the median of the entire data set. So based on the downward trend that we've observed so far, it's fairly easy to say that the death rates within the United States...
Didn't I tell you to take the cat litter and the trash out 3 hours ago?
Can you not see that I'm trying to do something, Dad? I'm in the middle of preface. Can you shut my door? God, I freaking hate my dad. But as I was saying, I think the death rate will continue to decrease in the United States. Like I said, the death rate in the U.S. has decreased within, the past 3 decades, and this is most likely due to the technological, medical, and scientific advances that we've experienced.